Salutations one and all, and to one and all salutations. My name is Speedy of Terrier Productions, coming to you with yet another video review. Today is actually a bit of a special review, or well, this clip in particular is for two reasons. First reason is that this is actually the 5th time I have tried to record this clip. The second time is that the only reason it's had 4 reshoots before now actually has a bit of an annoying backstory. Right? This was the bag that this box arrived in, and as you can see, I cut it open for the unbagging part of this review. Unfortunately, however, I didn't take into consideration how sharp the picture quality was on my camera, and even from a distance it was still able to pick up my address and postcode. So I've had to bin that clip, which was recorded yesterday. The second reason why this video is special is because it is a review of a model steam locomotive, which actually comes as a purchase courtesy of AC Models on eBay. If anyone from AC Models is watching, thank you very, very much for the ridiculously quick service. I bought this locomotive Monday gone, Monday September 2nd. It arrived yesterday, Tuesday September 8th. So again, huge kudos to those over at AC Models on eBay for sending me the locomotive that quick. I was beyond impressed. And I promise I'm not getting paid by them to say that. I should be, but I'm not. But I digress. And again, as you can see, more proof that I've already tried to record this. The box has already been opened. So, speaking of the box, let's open it and have us a little look-see at the contents. And here is the locomotive in question. A Hornby Holden B12. It's lovely, isn't it? It is lovely. As you can see, it's a 460. The 4 comes from the 4 wheels on the front pony truck, and then the 6 obviously comes from the 6 driving wheels. If we have a look at the front of the locomotive, we're presented with a nice red buffer beam with a white border. And right up in there, it actually says number 8544. Focusing on the smoke box, you've got the smoke box darts, you've got the 2 smoke box bands that hold the hinges, you've got the smoke box handle, you've got a little moulded lamp iron up there, and then all around the top of the smoke box and down both sides of the locomotive, down the sides of the smoke box and the boiler, you have a nice separately fitted handrail. If we have a look at the back of the locomotive, we can also see that we get some interior cab detailing, which I think is fantastic. However, the depressing thing about this fantastic locomotive is that Hornby have discontinued it. Hornby! Why? Why did you discontinue the B12? Anyways, here is the tender. I'll now actually get rid of the box. But here is the tender, and look at how adorably small this tender is. It is so good. As you can see right up there on the face of the tender, we have some more detailing. LNER written on both sides, stands for London and North Eastern Railway. As you can see, we've got some nice red lining there on the steps of the tender, either side. Here you have the big coal load. It is fake, unfortunately, but I'm sure some could, if you wanted to, I'm sure you could hollow it out and put real coal in there. There are the 2 water filling points and the pipes that run to the water pumps. On the back then, we've got yet another nice bright red buffer beam with some more white outlining. Sadly, the tender doesn't have any sprung buffers, and nor does the locomotive. I should have mentioned that earlier, but like the locomotive, you do get some nice separately fitted handrails. Then we cut to the bottom of the tender. This has got to be, without a shadow of a doubt, one of my favourite features of this locomotive. On the rear axle of the tender there's a tongue, and then just in front of the rear axle there's this piece of emery paper, and when they meet, you get a scraping noise, and that scraping noise, when the loco is running, is supposed to replicate the noise of a steam locomotive exhaust. So basically, the locomotive chuffing. And I think that's brilliant. That was a brilliant little bit of design that Hornby need not have added. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And there is the full locomotive tender and all. And what a beautiful, beautiful sight she is. Just some quick info on the Holden B12. 51 were first built between 1911 and 1913. And in 1913, one of them actually got destroyed in a huge rail collision in Colchester, which is in England. And it got written off the LNER's books. It was basically a write-off, is what I'm trying to say. It was effectively a write-off. Huge upset. Then about 1920 something or some other, I can't remember the dates off heart right now. Chances are I'll put them as a caption down here somewhere. An additional batch of 20, a second batch of 20 locomotives were built. The first batch of 51 actually started life on the Great Eastern Railway, which later got absorbed into the LNER upon the LNER Grouping Act of 1923. And that was pretty much it. All the locomotives, bar the one that got smashed up in Colchester, actually made it through to British Railways ownership, where they were repainted black, and they had red connecting rods with the British Railways Cycling Lion logo, I believe it was called, on the tender, as opposed to the LNER logo. Around about 1960, 1962, somewhere within those 2 years, British Rail went, right, get rid of them. And lo and behold, that's exactly what they did. 71 of these locomotives were built, and out of 71, only one example made it to preservation. The example of which is rail number 8572. By comparison, the rail number on my example is 8544. But I do plan on buying some number transfers so that I can renumber it to 8572. And said loco, number 8572, is currently operating on the North Norfolk Railway, for those of you who are interested in seeing it. I've seen plenty of video footage of it on YouTube, and the locomotive looks absolutely spectacular. It really, really does. It is just a huge upset that there was only one preserved. It really, really is just a huge, huge upset. Anyways, that's enough of me ranting and raving. Let's get the loco on the track, see how well she performs. Well folks, there she is. One of the most beautiful locomotives that Stephen Holden, the Chief Mechanical Engineer of the London and North Eastern Railway, ever built. The Holden B12. As you can see, behind it, I have a rake of 3 LNER teak corridor coaches. So with any luck, this loco should feel right at home. It looks right at home, actually. But then again, LNER locomotive, LNER coaches. It's pretty much a no-brainer. Anyways, let's crack that throttle open. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Hornby Holden B12. What do I think of it? Honestly, this is an absolutely beautiful locomotive. You seriously cannot argue with this. It is a beautiful locomotive. The fact that they added that little chuffing sound in the tender, I think that's just the icing on top of what is already a spectacular looking cake. I do admit, I do have some issues with it. For example, my example is extremely noisy, as you just heard in that series of clips. And the other thing that bugs me, I will admit the first one is more due to wear and tear, but the second thing that bugs me, and this is something that Hornby could have fixed when they were designing the locomotive, no sprung buffers. They are permanently stuck, which I find greatly depressing. But hey ho. For those of you who've stayed till the end of this video, thank you all very, very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care, guys.